Adrian Tepes, your Alucard here, and this is another episode of Whatever Happened to the Game in compilation. This features episodes for the Halo franchise, including Whatever Happened to Halo 3 and Whatever Happened to Halo Reach. This includes a guest of mine, Ms. Albelio, and we are going to be going over our own little review and retrospective of the following games in the Halo series. I'll later be going over this as a full compilation of all the Halo review episodes, but in the meantime, there's part 1, which came out earlier, and this is part 2. Meantime, I hope you enjoy this wonderful compilation of retrospectives on your favorite retro games, in this case, Halo 3 and Halo Reach. Without much further ado, let's get started.
A new episode of Whatever Happened to the Game, and this one is Whatever Happened to Halo 3. So we're going to talk about the third part of Halo today, and what changed, what improved, what may have been a little bit disappointing. And joining me today is Albelio, so should be pretty fun. And
hello, how you doing?
Let's get started with news. So, first part of news is I'll be playing Lord of the Rings later today. It's December, and I figured that's the month that they showed Lord of the Rings in theaters. So might as well. Might as well.
Keeping the tradition of it all.
Oh yes, 20 years later, still going. But today it's the Two Towers, is what I'm going live. You're still on Order of Ecclesia?
Correct. I know I didn't get around to streaming last week, but I will be streaming tomorrow.
All right, and I do have a deal, and that is that I will play the Doom mod known as Castlevania Simon's Destiny if I reach 1K subscribers.
And you're so close.
Oh, yeah? Oops.
Yeah.
Echo cancellation is a little annoying, but I guess I just need to adjust the mic a little bit. So I'll play Simon's Destiny live if I get to 1K subscribers. About 24 to go. So previously, we were at Thanksgiving, and that was Volume 1 of Whatever Happened to Halo. So that is Halo 1, Halo 2, and the Halo movies last week. Because we were off on Thanksgiving, so I premiered that instead. There will be another premiere of a collection of previous episodes for Christmas, because that will obviously be a time where we're away for holidays as well. But now to get started, Halo 3, the first Halo on Xbox 360. So yes and yes.
Yeah, this was quite the release at the time when it came out.
Well,
I remember the hype for this being huge.
Well, there was a cliffhanger in Halo 2, and Halo 2 is on the later end of the original Xbox, so there was every reason to be hyped about it when it finally arrived. That and the new Xbox 360. And of course, because it was the Xbox 360, it had Xbox Live from the start. You didn't have to do a system update like you had to do with Halo 2 for online multiplayer. So, power to the multiplayer. So I was first going to talk about the weapons in Halo 3, and when we watched the demo footage, which I'm going to watch someone else's because I just couldn't get around to playing it with the vacation and what I had to do. But yes, they added a number of them, and some of them they just brought back from before.
Mhm.
So the assault rifle was back in Halo 3. Obviously, there's so much more data, so many more weapons you can put into the game as elements. They took away the heat-seeking rocket, which I was all right with. I mean, it just
Kind of annoying to have to deal with a heat-seeking rocket in something as simple as a just
multiplayer.
another just a small roam, a small like arena multiplayer again.
Right. It was somewhat annoying, but I feel it works because they gave the function over to the what they call in this game. I call it heavy weapons, but they call it support weapons. So it's weapons that were normally attached to vehicles. So the heat-seeking missile pod, which is similar to the real-life javelin missiles, or a missile pod on a helicopter, is how you can. Hi, Chaos. How are you doing? Is how you can do the heat-seeking weapons, campaign or multiplayer. So I don't know. I felt it was a good mix because now I mean you technically still could shoot down an air something flying if you're really good aim, but I mean you just don't have the guidance.
Uh,
And now you just have to use a separate guided weapon to shoot heat-seeking missiles. But other than that, it was just making weapons you couldn't use in the previous Halo game usable now. So now you have all the brute weapons, even the hammer that Tartarus used at the end of Halo 2 as a boss.
mhm.
I mean, the Mauler, I'll talk to the Mauler in the Covenant weapons part, but I wasn't as impressed with the Mauler. I mean, it feels like a glorified Magnum, which is fine, but the spike rifle is the most, should I say, different of the new ones.
The spike is the one in the top right, correct? That like
That's the brute
goofy
shot.
grenade.
The
Oh, that's the
middle,
brute shot.
the one right under it is the spike rifle. I mean, the brute shot you could
Oh,
use in Halo 2 as the grenade, as a bouncing grenade launcher, but the spike rifle, it's essentially a nail gun. You're shooting
gotcha,
nails into people, and they really hurt.
gotcha.
It's similar to I guess you'd call it a rail gun in Quake, or a
Okay, okay.
basically. That's basically what the spike rifle is. But I mean, I felt it was a little balanced. I mean, the assault rifle, I'm glad they brought it back. I mean, the battle rifle has some long range scoping for bursts, but I feel that they kind of removed the assault rifle that you had in the first game, and now it's back here for the role in close range combat.
Hey, Shadow, how you doing?
Oops, how are you doing, Shadow? We're having fun talking about Halo 3. So I guess we'll go to the Covenant next one. Yeah, so I guess we already mentioned this. Brute grenade. The only one it doesn't show here is the spike grenade, which is kind of cool because it's a stick grenade. I mean,
Hmm.
it doesn't make a difference in the game, but throwing a stick grenade makes somewhat of a difference because you're essentially having a lever when you're throwing it. You have leverage when you're throwing it, so throwing it a good distance is easier with a stick type grenade. But yeah, it's a frag grenade, but it shoots a lot of sharp shards. And you can also take the um, the plasma cannon turret off of that's the plasma cannon, a really heavy gun, which for whatever reason is heavier than the fuel rod gun, but don't ask me why.
Yeah, video game logic.
Yeah, but it's basically how you had the light reconnaissance Covenant vehicles in Halo 2, but now you can take their plasma cannon and use it. I think the reason why they did it was just have a counterpoint to taking the minigun off the Warthog like you can do here too for support weapons. So you got the Covenant version of the minigun. And I was thinking of showing this here because the UNSC finally has a fighter air patrol craft known as the Hornet on the top. It's the vehicle with the missile pod that you could wield if you want to, and it has a autocannon, which you cannot take off that vehicle. In this game, you can only fly a Hornet in multiplayer, but it's a fun way to go shooting at people on the ground, air to ground, for a vehicle like a Apache helicopter in real life.
Oh, okay.
But the thing I like the most is the fact that you can be in a real arena with a giant scarab that can step on you, which is shown in the bottom. I mean, you had the scarab in Halo 2, but you just had to jump off a bridge onto it. In here, you face the scarab from the ground up. You can be down on the ground, and that thing can step on you, squash you into a bunch of pizza, or it can fire its weapons at you, which is a very big plasma cannon. So I was going to show a little demonstration of the scarab in Halo 3. But
it looks like they ripped off Quadraxis from Metroid Prime 2.
Yeah, most likely. But I felt it was good because it was just a way of showing that, look, this is Xbox 360. We can process more data. We have even bigger maps. So now we can have a walking scarab like that you can walk around it. You can get stepped on it.
And that's a Scorpion tank on fighting it?
Yes, it's trying to fight it. Although if that thing steps on a Scorpion tank, the tank's gone.
Oh, okay.
Like it has the mechanics that it can crush vehicles underneath it. It can crush you underneath it. And its weapon pretty much one-shots almost any regular vehicle.
Okay.
So I'm going to get the screen. Allow. As you can see, you're inside a base, and that thing is in this huge map. Don't get hit by the extra, I don't know, mother of all plasma cannons, I guess.
Yeah.
And this is campaign.
Yeah, because I don't remember this in multiplayer.
No, you can't do it in multiplayer, but this thing is a full arena. There's the battle rifle. Oh. But again, it's the whole thing in one big map. Perfect demonstration of what the Xbox 360 is.
And what it was capable of at the time.
Oh yeah. Well, Opulent Halo, you did a great job at destroying that. I guess I'll go to Halo 3.
Kind of underwhelming. To be fair, but I'm sure they were probably aiming for more spectacle at this point.
Right. I mean, if you're on the ground, that's dangerous because, like I said, it steps on you, you're dead.
Yeah. Hello, Captain Sarun.
How are you doing, Captain? How's your Tekken playing, Captain? So this is MKS and Fire.
At the end of Halo 2, that's when Chief falls to the planet, right?
Yeah, he's when he's coming back to finish the fight. So yeah, he crashes on it. But we're
Gotcha.
back on this
Gotcha.
other
So
planet.
this is them this this is them basically being inspired by the end of Jason X.
Jason X. Oh, that was a long time ago. But I'm going to skip ahead to where it starts. Let's start with the main gameplay. So here you've got two brute pistols.
Mhm.
And yeah, these are the newer maulers or brute pistols, and you can see it's got the bayonet little thing going on it like the brute shot did.
Yeah. You know, the hook shot that clearly was stolen from Doom Eternal, you know, as you do.
Yeah. Yeah, I will admit, Doom and Doom Eternal did do a job of getting us a new Doom after the age of Halo. I mean, Doom
Mhm.
3 played on hard, and I do enjoy playing Doom 3, but it's not quite Doom as we used to be as a first-person shooter where it's pretty much arena shooting in the original games.
Oh yeah. Yeah, they definitely wanted to push the bounds of technology.
Yep.
And frankly, Halo 3 really did too. I was always impressed by what the 360 was able to process at the time.
Oh, I was. I mean, it was like the start of the Xbox 360, and a great show of how you can get bigger maps, and like I showed with the whole scarab thing, you can get a whole scarab, not just as a mostly background thing, just go into the bridge and fall onto it, but as a genuine vehicle that you combat in the arena of the campaign.
Hmm.
I really like what they did with the textures too. I mean, it's very easy to forget the kind of textures you had with Halo 2 and how much lower res it was unless you turn off the high textures in the Master Chief Collection,
Mm.
because it's gotten better since Halo 2, quite a bit better.
That's a lot of grunts.
It is. And then there's your brutes.
Yeah, between this and Metroid Prime 2, I don't think graphics needed to be any more intense than this.
Right.
Anything above and beyond this was completely unnecessary.
Yeah, I think if I remember correctly, this is one of the first times they had games in like 1080p originally. I mean, now you have to
Mm.
get a remaster for the early 2000s when it comes to games, or because it will not be 1080 or 720 in a game from say 2004.
Yeah, a lot of them are 480 at max.
Oh, I'll skip ahead a little bit here before we go over the new parts. But the one disappointment I had with this is you cannot play in campaign as the Arbiter anymore. I kind of understand why, but you played with it for almost half of Halo 2.
Yeah, I heard that there was a supposed reason that you couldn't do it because something with the game didn't allow for it. Something in the engine, but I don't know if that was even remotely true because I can't imagine this game couldn't be handled by the 360.
Right. I mean, it's an improvement. It's the start of a new console. I mean, you can have an arbiter if you're playing co-op, so I doubt the engine is a restriction.
Mm.
It's just not the main story mode single player that you can play as arbiter. But I mean, the co-op mode makes more sense because two Master Chiefs, nah.
Yeah, the game would be over. It'd be like dumping a space marine in the middle of Doom.
Pretty much. Yeah. But that's about it. I'm just going to talk more about the other elements of it. So I'll exit this one and go back to the main one because this is where it goes into the arc. That is the big thing that they introduced in Halo 3. the the start of all Halo installations.
Holy moly. That thing's huge.
Yeah, so here's what it is. The arc diameter is 90,000 to 100,000 kilometers. They don't know exactly. It has more habitable surface area than the Earth does. But
Wow.
the inner hub, which you see right here in these pictures, is what creates new halos and teleports them to locations in the Milky Way galaxy.
Huh. I always thought they were just like rings that were made like, well, I suppose on a space station, but I didn't think they were just like produced by this gigantic machine.
Yeah, the arc, it's it's crazy. I think the shield world in Halo 4 might be the only thing that might be bigger than the arc because the shield world is a Dyson sphere like what you saw in Star Trek The Next Generation.
Mm-hmm.
But there's dimensional altering inside the shield world, so I don't know. It might just be a nuclear reaction under control and not an actual star that's contained inside. But the arc at the time of Halo 3 was just, I mean, I guess that's what they meant by the arc, because it's a place that's outside of the Milky Way to be safe from the halos going off. And that's presumably where humans and all these other alien species were put on, like Noah's Ark.
Yeah, yeah.
But when I finally played Halo 3 and saw this, I was flabbergasted at it. This thing's bigger than any of the Halos are.
Mm-hmm. Wow. Well, it's definitely a superstructure, that's for sure.
Yeah. It's like in Star Wars where Wedge says, like, look at the size of that thing. Referring to the Death Star, anyways. But yeah, there's a space battle over the Ark. I'm going to try and find that in a minute. But I don't want to spoil too much about this. So yeah, Arbiter's back, but you're not playing as him. So they're crashed on the Ark. So you can't see a full thing of how big the Ark is, but you've got to destroy the Grave Mind.
It's a good use of a matte painting.
It is. I like it. So basically, the flood infested an entire Covenant uh, dreadnought, and this whole thing crashed. So you're going into what was probably one of the biggest Covenant carriers, and now it's all taken over by the flood.
Is that what all of this is?
Yes, it's basically the flood has covered it with the biomass, like xenomorphs cover it with their body.
Oh, okay. That's like Zerg creep and whatnot. Gotcha.
Yeah. Shotgun's always good against flood, just don't run out of ammo. That's an infected brute. Yeah, something I was hoping I wouldn't see in Halo 2, but I guess you finally do see infected brutes.
I do like that and they ripped off the doors from Metroid.
Yeah.
I do like how the flood looks like a virus.
Yeah. Yeah, so more or less the grave mind talks to you and tries to tell you, don't try to destroy me.
Mm-hmm. As all of these stories always go, there's always some
Yeah.
sort of higher intelligence that is controlling everything like a hive mind.
Right. But, my biggest disappointment in Halo is if they ever decide, let's bring back the Flood using the same thing they did in Alien Romulus, because according to the lore of the Flood, they do not have to. Like, if there was another grave mind, it would be an entirely new creature because all that it takes for a grave mind is an accumulation of infected creatures, and you get one.
Okay.
So you don't even have to say the grave mind survived what happened here if you ever wanted to bring the flood back. Yeah, the hairy stuff on those flood, that was a little interesting. Uh, ah, obviously, also they have a single health bar. It's not they never quite went back to what they did with the shield and the health as separate bars in Combat Evolved.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I did notice that. I didn't remember that being the case. Because I swear I took a bunch of shots without shields and survived. I just didn't. Apparently, I didn't remember right. Because the last time I did borrow Halo 3 from an old friend of mine, uh, but I didn't get far enough into the story at all. Like maybe a mission or two. That was it. I just didn't have the time to sit down and go through it.
Uh, I felt it was a good compromise. Like I said earlier with the weapons, I mean, I felt it was good to bring the assault rifle back and take the heat-seeking part off of the rocket launcher.
Okay. And what are these? Because these things are taking a ton of abuse.
Those are infected brutes. You didn't see infected brutes in Halo 2, but now you do encounter zombified
Oh,
brutes.
gotcha.
If you notice how they have big long arms like an ape, that's a brute.
Uh, okay.
Now the one
Oh,
thing
you hated the Brutes Chaos?
the uh, yeah, I'd hate them too, Chaos. They're huge and they jump. Uh, uh.
How is this thing getting into Chief's head?
Oh, because the grave mind, the more life forms that amass and accumulate, the more powerful the grave mind becomes. He has telepathic powers, obviously, for the flood, and he also assimilates technology. So at this point, he has assimilated whatever he needs to transmit and communicate with the chief's armor. So he's
Oh,
transmitting
okay.
to you.
Gotcha.
Because unfortunately in Halo 2, the grave mind captured quite a bit. I mean, he infected prophets. He took the High Charity vessel quite a bit. And now you're walking through the completely infested remains of a Covenant dreadnought.
Oh, okay.
Oh, come on. You need a lot of power to stop those infected brutes. And you also get the new kind of insect spider flood
Mm-hmm.
as well. As if them jumping wasn't bad enough, now they go on the walls and ceilings.
Glad you can make use of the energy sword pretty effectively too.
Yeah, it's a little easier to use for melee strikes with that weapon.
This had a battery in it, right? Like this thing only lasted so
Yeah,
long.
you can see in the upper right. That's on the sword. That's the amount of energy you get from the sword.
Gotcha.
But some things you don't want to get close to, like the carriers, because their explosion damages you.
Mm. And they spawn more of the
Right,
flood.
they explode. You're right. You kind of need a plasma shot like a fuel rod gun, which is tough because fuel rod guns are limited in ammunition and
Mm-hmm.
they're heavy. At least that took care of them.
Oh yeah. Yeah, the energy sword was always kind of gnarly in this game. I'm talking about some precision shots.
Yeah,
Just turns around and pops two of the flood from the hip with the rifle.
the Covenant carbine, yeah, which I actually did enjoy. I mean, I know it's the counterpart to the battle rifle, but the rate of fire is a little slower and individual shots hurt quite a bit more.
Mm-hmm.
Ugh. This part was tough. I mean, it's tough to figure out where you're going. I guess. Oh, the compass, right? But it's a long
Yeah, but
trek.
everything's brown. Just
Yeah,
look like you just look like you're trying to find your way out of the world's worst toilet.
more or less. I was thinking ant hive, but toilet works too. It's like you're a tiny insect going inside an ant hive. How do you get out? Oh, shield, good. I'll go over some of the equipment you get in this game, but some of it works, like the bubble shield. Brute shot? No. Spike rifle? Maybe. But what am of my favorite parts is when you actually use a spike rifle against Flood. You can actually pin him to the wall, like, which just gave me the thought of calling it a nail gun.
Okay.
Stupid spiders. Yeah. I mean, I'll go to another part.
Okay.
Now, there's the brute shot. So this is where, so to get to the Ark in this game, you have to find a uncovered dig site in Central Africa,
Okay.
which explains why the Covenant went to Africa in Halo 2. They're trying to find the portal to the Ark. So you're trying to get to the portal, and you have to fight your way through all these brutes to get there to the dig site on Earth. You have to go deeper and deeper until you get to the access portal. Because like earlier, it's outside the galaxy, so navigating to it doesn't conventionally work. I hate cloaked brutes.
Oh, good lord. Oh, well, you found it.
Yeah, so you saw a radar jammer here. That's good for the fact that it's better multiplayer because it makes everyone's motion sensor go fuzzy for a little bit, so they don't know where people are without looking around.
Mm-hmm.
So it's useful in the game. It's kind of useful for trying to sneak up on people, on enemies, but it's more useful in multiplayer than anywhere else. He's got a hammer. That's a spike grenade right there.
if that wasn't the most Indiana Jones kind of kill ever. Like, screw this, just sticks a grenade with him.
Oh, the bubble shield right here. So the bubble shield stops the shots, but you can walk through it. They can do too, but if you're in a fire zone, the bubble shield really helps. But yeah, the guy had a hammer, you had a grenade. What's gonna happen?
Right. Hey, it was an easy hammer.
Yeah.
Now you can use it.
Yeah. And as you can see right here, the hammer has a limited amount of energy.
Yeah. Yeah. And even with that, it's still far more appreciated than any of the weapons in both Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom.
Yeah, Chaos, I liked the hammer too.
Yeah, there was a game mode my old friend had. It was called Golf, and everybody there was one guy who had the hammer, and the rest of us were the balls.
The biggest sentinel swarm in history. That's what that is. Jeez. Oh, right, because Truth got flood infected.
Oh, is Truth the Planet?
He's one of the prophets in Halo 2. He got flood
Oh, okay.
infected. Get off our
Oh,
planet.
343. Okay, I see how they got their name.
Yeah, 343 Guilty Spark from the original. But sadly, I don't know. I've been disappointed with 343, except for Halo Reach. And that's a prequel. You already know what's going to happen at the end of that one.
Mm-hmm. Oh no, the Puma. Forgot that Halo had a huge custom game scene. Oh, it was huge. Everybody knew about it.
Yeah, it was great. I mean, the fact that they had it native to Xbox Live and the superior processing and data of the data storage of the Xbox 360, it was insane. Um, all the custom maps that people could have now.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, this is the
Yeah,
Spartan laser.
yeah. The I remember the all the different game modes people used to come up with, like ninjas, where they lowered the gravity and everybody got an energy sword. So everyone would just jump past each other like anime and just slash and hope to God maybe they hit you.
Yeah. Shadow Master, all I have to say is that, the Xbox 360 and really going online, that opened it up to all kinds of mods. And that was the thing I liked about the older, Xbox 360 scene or PS3 scene was then, because that was when they started being accepting of modding games. Oh,
Did he just punch a ship to death?
that's a Wraith variant with anti-air defenses.
Oh, okay. I thought he just punched a ship to death.
Yeah, he destroyed the Wraith, because so there's a Wraith variant in this game that has its own needlers, but it uses
Okay.
the needlers to shoot down aircraft. So pretty good. So yeah, if you wanted to, you could rip that gun turret off and walk around firing the minigun from the Warthog.
Mm.
But again, it slows you down because of how heavy that thing is.
Which is so funny considering this dude's supposed to be able to canonically flip a scorpion tank with one hand.
Well, even if you can lift, it can still slow down your walking speed.
Yeah, sure.
I'm not the best weightlifter out there, but when I'm lifting, even if I'm lifting, say, and carrying 75 pounds, I'm not going to be sprinting with that weight.
Sure.
So I guess they're trying to do that. It's like, okay, well, it's so heavy, you're not going to sprint with that much weight on you, but you can
Mm-hmm.
carry it.
Yeah. Forgot you can mod console games back in the day. Yeah.
You could. You definitely could. It wasn't very often. There are certain, let's just say there were certain game scenes, and Albellion and I might talk about Elder Scrolls because we both really like that series. But
Mm-hmm.
yeah, um, with the Elder Scrolls and the Bethesda games, they weren't that friendly to modding off PC for a while. Custom mods, anyways. They did sell you DLCs if you wanted to, but not so much custom-made mods. But now Bethesda's totally fine with it, at least for their Fallout. The Bethesda Fallout games, they're fine with mods, and they're actually
Mm-hmm.
trying to cash in on it, which some
Yeah,
people
and
complain about.
anything to make a buck.
Right.
Yeah, and not all all the all of the hacked Wii's that all had the homebrew channel and everything for playing whatever you wanted, or filling
emulated
the
all that,
storage with all the retro games.
They did it too with soldering the Xbox hard drive for the original Xbox, but it wasn't it wasn't legal, and it wasn't something you'd be able to get serviced or repaired for if you did that.
Oh,
You're
yeah.
on your own.
Yeah. Well, if you could also figure out how to solder the hard drive into the Xbox, I'm pretty sure you were able to fix it too.
Yeah, I would think so. You know what parts to add. But no, yeah, I mean, Halo 3 was, for console modding, it was great.
Mm-hmm.
But which is interesting because with the Master Chief Collection remastered, there's anti-mod mode by default.
Oh,
I guess they just want to prevent glitches, but
I'm sure
you can turn
stabilize
it on.
try to stabilize the experience.
Yeah.
Nothing pisses me off more than when you're trying to play a game and you're having fun, and then out of nowhere everything just bugs and breaks because instability or incompatibility.
Even worse is, you probably heard about the Bethesda modding and how badly they bugged the games recently.
Oh yeah.
Next generation mod.
I hate how bad that is. It's like that was like the main reason I stepped away from Skyrim. I couldn't handle it anymore. Every so often I'm just trekking across the plains or the tundra, and then out of nowhere the game just shuts off on me, and I'm like, what the hell?
That's crazy. I mean, I played the GOG version of Skyrim, so I didn't realize it at first until I actually took a look and realized, like, crap, the updates are messing with the game. Because GOG at least gives you, they give away the vanilla versions of the various games, but obviously it's vanilla, but it's made to work on the operating system. Because, I mean, without updates, I wouldn't be playing Oblivion like I was earlier this year without that.
Yeah. I mean, even smaller things really drives me nuts. Like my buddies and I, we've been playing Lethal Company.
Yeah.
And Lethal Company has a zillion mods. And for as fun as the game is, like, sometimes you'll just be going along and then out of nowhere, can't pick anything up. It's like you just can't do anything in the game, and you're just like, why?
Yeah. I mean, EA, you could do it with games from EA, but EA really didn't like their games being modded. And their statement was just basically, if you mod your games, we can't help you fix the bugs if it's caused by a mod.
Mm-hmm.
Although, to be fair, I'm not sure, with a lot of EA games being sports games, I don't know why a lot of people would want to mod like NBA 2K or something.
Oh yeah, the jailbroken Wii's were fantastic, but this is why Nintendo. I think this is part of the reason why Nintendo also doubled down on trying to clamp down on everything that they had, because they were tired of losing sales from things. Because I'm pretty sure the reason part of the reason they switched over and have far less internal potential with the Switch is because of all the people that found out how to quickly and easily jailbreak the Wii.
Right.
And then they carried that over with the Wii U.
Well, it's
because you
part
could
of
basically do the same thing
Nintendo.
then.
like Nintendo practices protectionism on their products because the way they see it is that they would lose the competition if they allow their games to also end up on PC. I mean, that's a
Mm-hmm.
choice, and I don't agree with Nintendo in every way, but I can understand why. Because the arena of being shared on both console and PC, that's an arena where PlayStation and especially Xbox dominates, in part because Windows is also Microsoft, like the Xbox. So
Mm-hmm.
I can see why Nintendo is protectionist about their games that they make. And I like the chopper too. This one, it's basically a four-wheeler, but the UNSC finally gets something extra light for a vehicle. Yeah, Shadow. I mean, it's just Nintendo does it because they just feel that they would lose to their competition if they really put themselves in a similar arena. Um, I understand that to a degree. I don't agree with it, but I understand. I mean, I mean, if you're making your own game, like there are open source games such as Battle for Wesnoth, which is open source, but it's not AAA, and it's fun, but it's not AAA, and it's meant for people who like the older gameplay. Oh, here's the Hornet.
Mm-hmm.
So with Nintendo, their whole thing is they just feel they wouldn't be able to compete if they weren't protectionist with their games against other AAA titles. Yeah, so the Hornet, the big disadvantage is it's easier to shoot the missiles at the ground below you than it is above you. But it's nice to see that the UNSC finally has air vehicles.
Yeah, air support after all this time.
Yeah, at least it's playable, anyways. But when we get into Halo Reach, you get quite a bit more about flying vehicles, which is why I enjoyed Reach as my conclusion to the Halo series.
When I get into game development, I'd probably make my games open source so they can mod my games with no problems. Yeah, it's at this point it's impossible to uh prevent modding. I think it's best to go into it because eventually someone will make it.
Right. I, Eventually, someone will. And the highest selling game of all time is Minecraft, and as we all know, Minecraft is heaven for modding.
Oh yeah.
I mean,
Yeah, there's so many mods. There are more mods for Minecraft than there are crypto coins.
you're right. And while a lot of the mods are free, there are mods for Minecraft that are on sale too, hence the marketplace.
Hmm.
So, let's try more missiles to blow up the tank. I know we're having so much fun with this one, but I have to move on with my schedule soon. But
Sure, sure.
all right, all right, all right. So back to here. So I know I really don't want to go. I really don't want to go. We were enjoying this so much, but it's time to work on getting the last little bits of news. So next week, it's going to be, and this will be a different thumbnail when we get all set up on what we're going to talk about.
Hmm.
Uh, Favorite and most disappointing game sequels. So as I've shown here, it's part of why I felt that Metal Gear Solid was one I liked. A little bit disappointed with later System Shock games, but that's more or less what it is. What's coming up for you, Albelio?
Well, because of how things have gone, unfortunately, I don't have the time to finish the Rings of Power episode 7, and I'm really delayed on trying to get Jurassic Park out. I will have a video brainstorming and discussing what I think is going to happen with Hollywood for the next, at the least the next few years post-election. That's the only one I'm going to have time to be able to finish.
Yeah. All right.
And then after that, I will be streaming tomorrow to continue Ecclesia.
Good luck. Yeah, and I will be continuing today with. I'll be doing Lord of the Rings because I'm celebrating it in December, where they released the Lord of the Rings movies. I'm still not done, even though it's 20 years later. I'll be playing Two Towers today.
Nice.
Live. So, everyone, thanks for stopping by. We'll have another episode next week for whatever happened to the game, and it should be very fun. And I hope you'll see you all, and you have a wonderful afternoon. All right.
All right. Thanks for coming, everyone. Have a good day.
All right. Another episode of Whatever Happened to the Game. And it will be the last Halo one for a while. I just eventually, myself and my guest eventually would want to get some experience playing the Halo 4 if we were interested in the future. So it's great so far. And joining me from Illinois is Albelio. And welcome.
Hey, buddy. How you doing?
Oh, great. So today is our final Halo episode. We're going to talk about whatever happened to Halo Reach. It should be pretty interesting. So first thing is what happened recently. Albelio has come back for the new year with Sonic 3 as a review and our interview from Thanksgiving last year. Almost Thanksgiving. This is the whole Castlevania, whatever happened to Castlevania part. I'm thinking of making a bonus version later this year, which will be additional episodes about Castlevania. And I also made some secret guides to secrets of the game for Curse of Darkness with the Two Towers. Oh,
neat.
Yes. So that's the recent events. Next week is going to be finishing up with Vampire Hunter D. Whatever happened to Vampire Hunter D Bloodlust. So that's our video and movie review live stream. That should be pretty good.
Can't wait to get back to that one, especially with Nocturne just around the corner.
Yeah.
Actually, no, it's here, right?
It's today's supposed to be the debut. I'm not going to be getting into it because I have other things I had scheduled before they officially announced that time. I wanted to finish up on Halo, and I don't know. I want to finish Curse of Darkness. I'm a little intrigued this time. I'm playing the game the way through, so it's kind of my fixation. That and Skies of Arcadia.
Oh yeah, no, there it is. Nocturne Season 2.
Yeah. I'll just have to get to it later because I had this on my schedule before they let me know that Nocturne was happening that time.
I don't want to do this. I don't want to do it.
Well,
all right.
Have you finished Rings of Power that season yet? Or you could always do that.
Well, I did finish watching it. I just haven't. I have to play catch up on so many things. It's kind of asinine, and with work having started back up, I don't have the time. So I'm it's like all my personal time basically like went out the window.
Yeah, it kind of goes that way, unfortunately. It kind of goes that way.
Yeah, back to less depressing things. Back to everybody dying.
Yeah, that's pretty much what happened. But yeah, so before Rogue One, there was Halo Reach. Halo Reach. So it's a prequel, and it was the perfect storm because in that same year they had the first Call of Duty Black Ops, and they had Battlefield Bad Company, which all of them carried similar elements of gameplay, and it was somewhat of a competition at that year.
Has it really been that long?
Yeah.
The first Black Ops came out.
Yeah. And they were all competing in the sense that they were all multiplayer games too.
Wow.
Like Call of Duty Black Ops had zombie mode, which is you try to survive against hordes of walking zombies coming at you. And Battlefield, of course, that's just Battlefield. So it's basically you against another faction. You try to capture their main points. I mean, as far as Battlefield, I've only played 1942 in Vietnam.
I haven't. Halo, Call of Duty was not really my thing, so I never really. I think I maybe played Black Ops 2 like once or twice.
Oh, the only way I played Call of Duty Black Ops, the first one, because I was just having fun the night before I got married at my friend's house, and so I just said, "Hey, I'm staying at your house for the night. What are we going to do to make it not so boring?" And it's like, "Oh, let's just play Call of Duty Black Ops." And I was laughing my ass off because like the insta kill weapon in the first Black Ops was that someone throws a tomahawk across the arena at you and it kills you instantly. It's like what the hell is that? It's like it's a big joke within the game, but I don't know. I felt it was a night well spent. So, multiplayer for Halo Reach involves conventional multiplayer deathmatch, the free-for-all Slayer, or Team Slayer, or Capture the Flag. New multiplayer game modes includes Firefight, which is you trying to fight against groups of Covenant. I like that more than zombies for Call of Duty Black Ops, just because it's Covenant, but they are not just zombies, they are fighting you with any weapon the Covenant can use. So that's probably the high point of what Halo Reach was the multiplayer experience. Actually, I'm gonna go get the I was thinking we could have a little fun watching a firefight that someone recorded.
Well, the Halo also had like a significant single player along with Black Ops 1 and 2, right?
Yeah, Black Ops had a story, but I was mostly enjoying it with my friends for the multiplayer fun. But yeah, Black Ops had a story of similar to Halo Reach, where you're in a special forces team on a series of missions. So yeah, I mean Battlefield does too because it's all based. All right. So this is a heroic. This is going to be a heroic. We're not going to watch the whole thing. It's going to be a heroic difficulty firefight where they managed to survive almost half an hour. Not just anyone survives that long in a firefight because they keep getting more and more bigger numbers with the new waves of Covenant.
Spartan, we need this area locked down. Nobody in or out.
Set, start, skulls on.
There really is no reason games needed to look any better than this. I'll still argue that. Like Halo 3 and this were basically peak.
I mean, this is, again, 2010s, this is when it was normal to be HD for your gameplay.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, this is how it works. I mean, you have Covenant dropping off guys and Phantoms, and you're the Team Spartan. So there you see the grunts. But that's just the first wave.
Mm-hmm.
And if people are wondering why you look different, that's because you're with noble teams, so they don't have the same kinds of armor suits as Master Chief does because he wasn't with that team.
Well, he was that was like the Mark II suit, right?
Yeah, Master Chief was Mark II. Noble Team was Mark I. And I found out yesterday that Avery Johnson from the Halo games, he was a precursor to what the Spartans were. He has implants, but he doesn't have the Mjolnir armor on. I guess I shouldn't be surprised. But just love how the graphics got more detail from one game to the next.
Mm-hmm.
Shots on top.
Are you able to customize your armor in Reach
Yeah.
like you could the others?
Yeah, you go to your player profile and you take a look at what color you want your armor to be. You can put decals on it, like you can put numbers or put the logos for various teams, like Noble Team. So this person obviously customized their armor to have the green color and whatever numbers were on it.
Reinforcements.
So they beat a wave now. They're getting ready because there's going to be another wave coming really, really soon. Now this is the Rocket Warthog right here. It's not entirely new. It was only available on PC for Combat Evolved.
Okay.
But the change in Reach is that in the Reach version you can have heat seeking for the rockets that the Warthog fires. But the person manning the turret has to keep their aim on the target to get the heat seeking lock working. Otherwise, they're just firing rockets in a almost straight line. But
yeah, they're just dumb firing.
Yeah. So here it's great. They drove by the Wraith and took it out. So they're pretty good at the Warthog, from what I can see. But this is being recorded obviously from the driver. The player is the driver, not the player controlling the turret. Look out! Now they're dropping hunters.
Good Lord, those things tank rockets too.
I think that was a glitch, but yeah, rockets kill hunters in this one, especially shooting in the back. But what happened was it hit. It still isn't perfect, but he hit the column, the vertical column, and that kind of just took some of the damage off because splash damage is still less than what you get normally. Let's see how far they go. How bad the waves get.
Mm. Is that just a ammo crate that he walks by, or are there like drop boxes?
Yeah, you have drop boxes that come to you in between waves. So he changed to a battle rifle at this point, and someone else is controlling the warthog.
He took out the warthog.
Yeah, he did. They were running in his field of fire. Good job. That was a nice kill of that jackal right there, even though he had a shield.
There's so much going on that the frame rate's dropping.
Yeah, it is. The Master Chief Collection remaster helps a little bit because it came out 4 years after this was initially released, and it includes Reach. But yeah,
was it 4 years after Reach?
2014 was when the Master Chief Collection remasters came out. So that's why I would never play like Halo 5, because the farthest Master Chief Collection goes at the remasters is Halo 4.
Mm.
Oh, what?
What just flew past him?
An exploding ghost flew past him.
Huh.
So here he obviously got the artillery strike, but you use a laser. Use the laser to point out where the artillery fires.
Probably should have used it a bit earlier before they landed.
Right, but the thing in the firefight mode is you kind of need to earn better weapons by surviving earlier waves. Oh
wow.
So that's right now. That right there is a plasma turret. He ripped off their Wraith, not the Wraith. Oh, come on, the Wraith is the big one. The Revenant. That's what it's called. Sorry.
Gotcha.
So yeah, just like from Halo 3, you can take turrets off some vehicles and use it, but it slows you down to carry it. How heavy the thing is. Oh, Jetpack Elite.
Oh boy. I hate that I'm constantly reminded of that stupid line from Rise of Skywalker. It's like they fly out. They fly out. They fly out.
That was originally in Tremors, and maybe we could watch the Tremors movies at some point just to laugh at them.
Oh, they're so good. The first three are so fun. The first one's great. Second's a little rough, but not too bad. Third one, they're just like, all right, our concept's goofy. Let's just have fun.
Yeah, it's kind of a shame the only guy they could keep through the whole one is Michael Gross as Burt Gummer.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and after, what was it, like the seventh one when he finally dies?
Well, that's the last Tremors movie too.
I heard there was supposed to be another.
They were, but Michael Gross, he's a trooper. He's been the one who's been willing to be in Tremors movies even when everyone else has moved on.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there were rumors that they'd get Val back as played by Kevin Bacon, but those didn't substantiate.
Yeah, because he returned for like the series, right? And the series just bombed.
He stopped by and visited, but the series was expensive, obviously, because they have to use all those animatronics and CGI for the creatures.
Yeah. Oh, they have their own drop pods.
Michael Gross, he's the trooper of Tremors.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh, he's just desperately tanking all of that.
He must have gotten an overshield, because the thing that kind of sucks about this one is that your enemies can also get those power-ups too, not just you.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so the elite probably picked up an overshield from your own base.
I just got to survive another 40 seconds. Why isn't his shield regenerating?
I just probably because it's a later wave. It's this bonus round, so they can add difficulty to it as you keep surviving longer. Like, okay, your shield doesn't regenerate anymore, or your or some other handicap that they add to you to make it harder.
Gotcha.
I mean, when in this survival mode, the game works to make it harder and harder for you, because the idea isn't for you to survive; it's to see how long you're going to survive before an inevitable demise. So they finally died. They lasted almost 25 minutes.
Wow.
So now the weapons. They didn't really add much compared to the previous games in terms of what they added.
So is it the same number of weapons, or did they?
It's slightly more than Halo 3. They took out the missile pod, the guided missile launcher, because now they took the rocket launcher and made it like it is in Halo 2, where you have the heat-seeking lock for the regular rocket launcher. Again, obviously, target designator, you saw that being used. You shine a laser on a target, and that is where artillery will fire. Plasma Pier, it's a new Covenant, let's just say a new Covenant plasma chain gun. It's heavy, but you just belch out plasma rounds with it as a Covenant type of minigun. Spartan Laser's back. That was already in Halo 3. You can get the gravity hammer if you in the campaign or multiplayer if you take out a brute and pick it up.
Okay.
But it's not, of all the things that Halo Reach added, new weapons is not one of them. Also credit to Tiermaker for making this whole chart.
I see the energy sword is again at the top.
Yeah. It's top there because, again, you still have the jump leap attack, I call it, for the sword. Yeah. There's a couple of new vehicles. You don't get to use the UNSC Falcon, which is at the top center. You don't get to use it in multiplayer. And during the campaign, you can sit on the side and operate the machine gun while someone else pilots it. So they're pretty much trying to play catch up with the other Battlefield and Call of Duty games, where you could do that as well. And the Rocket Warthog, originally in the PC only version of Halo Combat Evolved, Rocket Warthog has a missile turret with heat-seeking functions for enemy vehicles. Same layout as the regular Warthog, except you're manning a missile turret rather than a gun turret. There's the Revenant, which we saw briefly when it fired. It's the Covenant has a light tank now. Fuel rod gun, but only carries one driver and passenger, and you're somewhat vulnerable to getting hit from above in that light tank.
Oh, okay.
Now there's the Saber or Seraph starfighters, and you use that in a space dogfight battle, similar to Star Wars. And there's a single driver ATV, Mongoose. So the UNSC finally had their version of the Ghost, only it's on wheels.
Oh, yeah, the four-wheeler?
Yes. ATV, all-terrain vehicle, yeah. But, yeah, so again, like I said before, it's the multiplayer that was the biggest change from previous Halo games. Pretty much. And of course, there's the Long Night of Solace. Yeah, brother, that was the ending battle with Long Night of Solace. It's a Covenant carrier that is the largest active combat vessel shown in Halo at the time, 20 kilometers long. And you have to fly around that thing getting shot at by Covenant fighters and gun turrets on the ship. Think Star Wars Battlefront, I guess. Halo Reach was an okay prequel. Did well compared to its contemporary first-person shooters, including Call of Duty Black Ops and Battlefield Bad Company 2 in the same year. Less groundbreaking, and has a great final dogfight in space that hadn't occurred previously. So we're going to go into the campaign now rather than multiplayer and take a look at that. I wish I recorded more of these of my gameplay, but it is good. It's a good way to end. It's a good place to end the story with a big prequel. In the case of Halo Reach, anyways, even though you know how it's going to end based on how combat evolved is.
How does how does this one compare to like Halo 3? Like how well received was Reach?
It was
3.
I can look it up. I can look at it and see what the reaction was. I'm too biased for it, so I'd have to read what the reception was. Let's see. Let's see what it said. 97% Metacritic. Yeah, they liked that very much. I mean, I just know that there was a game, you had all these franchises. You had Battlefield, Call of Duty, and Halo all in the same year. Let's see what else.
Wow, what a year.
Yeah. Reception. Reach sold 3.3 million units in North America, making it the third highest selling game for Xbox 360. Okay. It was also the third highest selling game in 2010. And if you include PlayStation and Nintendo, with only Call of Duty Black Ops. So it was second to Call of Duty Black Ops and Madden FL 2011. By the end of 2011, it had sold 4.7 million units.
Wow.
So yeah, it sold pretty well overall. It was top for Xbox and third for the year if you include both PlayStation and Nintendo. Oh.
Makes sense.
Yeah. Okay. I'm gonna make sure I share this screen here. Share screen.
Listen up, Noble Team. We're looking at a down relay outpost 50 clicks from Visegrad. We're going to introduce ourselves to whoever took it out, and then Kat's going to get it back online.
Get me under the hood, Commander.
So why would Rebel stop reaching the rest of the colonies?
You got a chance, maybe you can ask him, George.
So that's the big thing that happens. At the beginning, you're starting with a Civil War event with the UNSC, and then you meet the Covenant.
You heard her. Dead zone confirmed. Command will not be keeping us company this trip.
Well, Reach is it's the prequel where all of the Spartans except for Master Chief die, right? Because this
Yeah.
is Reach was a
Basically,
planet
if-
that gets attacked.
Oh
the
yeah,
Covenant?
I'll show you the opening. Yeah, the Covenant burned the surface of Reach so that the continents became glass.
Mm.
So if you were a Spartan and you're on Reach, you got here. That's Reach after they burned it.
Oh,
That's how it starts. All burned away. There's an ODST helmet right there.
mm-hmm.
So it has a very good opening. I like the opening more than I like the opening for Halo 3 or Halo 2.
Really?
Yeah, just it starts off with no dialogue, and then you see, oh, that helmet used to belong to this member of the team before, and then he's gone. And there are two Falcons right there, which you get to ride inside later.
Contact with Visegrad Relay was lost last night. All signals flatlined at 2600 hours. I responded with trooper fire teams, which have since been declared MIA.
And now you're sending us.
The Office of Naval Intelligence believes deployment of a Spartan team is a gross misallocation of valuable resources. I disagree.
Commander.
So that's our new number 6.
Cat, you read his file?
Only the parts that weren't covered in black ink.
Anyone claim responsibility, sir?
Only thinks it might be the local insurrection. 5 months ago, they pulled a similar job on Harmony. Hit a relay to take out our eyes and ears, then stole 2 freighters from dry dock. That cannot happen here. Reach is too damn important. I want that relay back online, Noble One.
Sir, consider it done.
Then I'll see you on the other side. Holland out.
Lieutenant,
Commander, sir.
I'm Carter, Noble Team's leader. That's Cat, Noble 2, Neil and George 4 and 5. You're riding with me, Noble 6.
So yeah, that's you. You're Noble 6.
You're stepping into some shoes the rest of the squad would rather leave unfilled. Me, I'm just happy to have Noble back up to full strength. Just one thing, I've seen your file, even the parts the Oni censors didn't want me to. I'm glad to have your skill set. But we're a team. That lone wolf stuff stays behind. Clear?
Got it, sir. Welcome to Reach.
The game is everyone is doomed, but you still want to play anyways. Very much true. Very much the case. Another great thing about Chrome is that it with StreamYard, you were literally only it records by the window, so I can have 2 windows open on one screen and look at both the chat and look at the video as we're watching it.
Get me under the hood, Commander.
Nice.
Yeah,
You get a chance, maybe you can ask me, George.
part of why I'm gonna just stick with Chrome for StreamYard from now on.
Commander, we just lost our
Gotcha.
signal with HQ.
Backup channels.
Searching. Nada. Can't say what's jamming us.
You heard her. Dead zone confirmed. Command will not be keeping us company this trip.
I'm lonely already.
What also gets interesting too is that there's actual in this game they actually have, just regular wild animals on Reach, not just fighting Covenant or UNSC. So they added all those details of plants and animals on this planet in the.
Watch yourself.
There's the communications outpost.
So, and these animals will at least responded like, "Oh crap, there's gunfire going on. I better run away."
Mm-hmm.
Check it out. Put us down on the bluff. June, I want your eyes in the sky.
I'm gonna obviously skip in a little bit just so we can see how the end mission goes because it's a crazy ending for this campaign.
Well, the final mission is just a endless horde mode, right?
Okay, the final mission involves you go into space with a saber fighter, and you have a dogfight because you're trying to, even though you're doomed, you're trying to destroy their big carrier.
Mm-hmm.
So the thing is huge, and then the Covenant carrier, like I said, it's 20 kilometers long. So in the game, it's enormous. I mean, obviously in Destiny you have the Dreadnought that fits inside the Ring of Saturn, but the Dreadnought works in sections for the gameplay. So you have like only a section that you actually see. In this case, you're flying along the length of this whole Long Night of Solace carrier, trying to blow it up.
Oh, okay. Then maybe I'm just thinking about the final cinematic then.
Oh yeah, there's the final cinematic where you see what happens.
Yeah, because I thought that
Yeah,
it was supposed to be like a.
there's
He just walked in ostrich. What?
Yeah, get out of my way.
That was what the hell? That was so unnecessary.
Well, I mean, that's how wild animals work. You get in their area, they get scared of you.
Oh, that's so fucking funny. I never thought I would ever see an ostrich get smashed in the face by a Spartan in Halo.
Yeah.
Oh, that's like those it's like those ostrich robots from Mega Man 2.
Those ones. Ugh.
Oh, that's funny.
Neighbors were attacked last night. He heard screams, gunfire. Stopped around sunrise. Says something in the fields killed his son.
Something.
Commander, be advised. I'm reading heat signatures in that structure directly east of your position.
So I'm gonna go get Long Night of Solace mission.
Okay.
Because it's quite the
Our foe is more devious than we imagined. That spire was indeed a teleporter linked to a cloaked Covenant supercarrier, a grave threat. Thankfully, help is imminent. 50% of the UNSC fleet is en route to Reach from existing deployments. The first
look at the size of that thing. Now come on, Rogue 2, calm down.
48 hours?
Yeah, he acts like it's hard to lift.
Uh-oh. Who's your money on this time?
Her.
You always pick her.
She's always had him dialed in.
That thing's crushing us and we're waiting for backup. They'll be backing up a graveyard.
All our nukes are either out system or went down with the ships that carried them. You're preaching to the converted.
How converted?
I know that look, Cat.
You can say no.
No.
You don't even want to hear it.
Fine, I'll hear it.
Remember that accident a couple years back? Colony ship en route to Cygnus, 700 dead.
Vaguely a slip space drive malfunction, right?
Actually, it worked fine. The drive was mounted improperly after a service haul-out. When it fired, it teleported half the ship to oblivion.
This is relevant. How?
A certain Covenant super carrier could, with some assistance, suffer the same unfortunate accident.
Even for you, Cat, that's
Inspired?
not the word I would use.
What's going on?
Go ahead. Explain.
May I?
Don't cut yourself.
Objective: to destroy Covenant carrier in geosynchronous orbit above us.
This sanctioned, sir.
What do you think?
Method: a slip space drive in lieu of the nukes we don't have. Delivery system: us. Solvable: getting us up there. That and getting our hands on a slip space drive. Thank you for sharing.
So, all we need is orbit-capable transport and the single most expensive...
Oh,
piece of
hi,
equipment
Dan.
made by man.
Yeah,
As a
that's how
soldier,
crazy
I
the end of this
possibly
game
have
gets.
access to these kinds of resources. That said, a good place to look might be, I don't know.
Is it just me or are her eyes a little goofy? Like they're
Yeah.
like cat eyes?
Yeah, they are.
Oh no. Maybe it's just the distance.
Lighting.
Yeah, because it looked like she had these like cat's eyes.
Yeah.
All we need is a green light from Holland.
She's like the sniper of the group, right?
Yeah.
Maybe that's why I concluded that.
Well, their helmets are on most of the time anyway, so you don't really see much.
Mm-hmm.
So this is where you have to do the crazy part of trying to find the saber fighters to get them up into space and do the space battle. Oh, Jorge decided to take the whole turret from the Falcon with him.
Copy that, Commander.
Move up the beach, Noble. Enemy transport inbound. Don't let up. They got me zeroed. Hostile.
I'm going to skip it a little bit. So when you take off, there's the takeoff sequence.
Mm-hmm.
So basically, you got to take a drive off a crashed ship and use it like an engine like a bomb. But you have to fly, and as a type of escort protection because the Covenant has their fighters in orbit as well.
Stage separation in 3, 2, 1. Stage separation. Second stage ignition confirmed.
It's just great. All the effects they showed here were from the aurora and the edge of the atmosphere.
Mm-hmm.
Shows the long way they've come in terms of detail since Halo 2 or Halo 3.
Understood, Colonel. Noble 6, these sabers have been customized for orbital defense. You may need to get reacquainted. Rendezvous at Anchor 9 with frigate Savannah and the other sabers as soon as you're ready. Holland out.
Yeah, they give you a little tutorial to know how to control this thing. And that's it.
Yeah, that's you can only turn right, nothing else. Can't shoot, can't fly, just turn right.
Savannah actual to Saber teams. Be advised, we have bogeys inbound. Anchor 9 to all UNSC ships stationed defensive
It's nice to be able to make U-turns in this game, though.
Mhm.
That's one of the things that makes me a little bit sad. Star Fox games are gone by this point. I guess we have, I guess technically we had it in the newer, something similar to this in the newer Battlefront, Star Wars Battlefront games. The new Battlefront 2. But Space Wars just don't seem to be that common anymore for main games.
Mm-hmm.
Little guide there to help you calculate your target, where it's going to move. So there's the Covenant sheriff right there.
Defensive batteries at 79%. Buy us another minute, Saber teams. Alright, I'm taking a shot. Hit! Work. On your tail, Noble 6. Anchor 9er to all craft in the vicinity. Be advised we show a large attack force inbound. Combat air patrol and Saber teams are directed to engage and defend the station.
Is there any place the Covenant isn't?
Anchor 9 to all UNSC ships. Station defenses are back online. Clear the lane. We'll light them up. Firing!
Right.
Oh, that's another for me. Enemy bird smart. Great shoot. Weapons on. Enemy fighter down. In my sights.
Hi, Lauren. How you doing? How's your song coming? How's your new music coming along?
I really appreciate that they do the same thing that Warframe does. So there's every so often you see this this marker that trails that leads the target, so that you know where you're shooting in order to guarantee you get the hit.
Right. I mean, that real fighter jets have that in it. It's calculated impact.
Really?
Yeah, because your gun, when you're firing, you obviously have finite speed, and your targets are moving fast enough, hundreds of miles per hour near the speed of sound, so that you have to calculate ahead. Your computer on your plane calculates ahead of that. So that's part of what they got the idea from.
I didn't know they did that.
Yeah, fighter jets have that. Or had it for a while. I'm going to be playing I'm going to be playing the flight simulator for FA-18 Hornet soon. You'll get to see some of that, or at least how it used to be. I think it's still going to be the same because this is the 1990s Hornet before they did the two-seater with the Super Hornet.
Gotcha.
Oh, a whole Phantom now. Nice. Glad to hear it, Lauren. Yikes. So yeah, you have all these fighters, and you've got to make sure that the main station stays intact so they can get the ship engine to deliver it as a bomb to the carrier. So don't let the station blow up.
I like how it's an actual barrel roll and not a aileron roll.
Yeah, I do too. I mean, it's the craziest part about this space battle, even though it's so little of the actual game time, is that it's really 360 like you get in Warframe. But yikes. Don't crash.
Does crashing matter? I've seen him glance off of
the
numerous things.
Mechanics aren't great, but for just being a little part of the game where you have a totally new environment rendered for this, that's pretty good. I mean, there's just one mission where you have to fly, and most of the rest is just you on foot for the most part.
I'm out here, 6.
Warning. M-Spec re-entry packet disengaged.
I need your override.
Warning. M-Spec re-entry. Cockpit depressurization complete. Canopy release lever armed.
So we're about to see the big one really soon. But yeah, they have to, in order to get into the ship, because it's wrecked, they have to just seal their suits and jump through space in the vacuum.
Are the Mjolnir armors not normally sealed?
They can be sealed. They have a seal that activates so that they can survive the vacuum or being underwater.
Gotcha.
I mean, that's how Master Chief walks around on the outside of the station in Halo 2. It's also how he does the orbital drop in Halo 2 and 3 as well.
Gotcha.
Go ahead, Colonel. We've flagged a Corvette-class vessel on a predicted docking track with our target. Get our makeshift bomb on that Corvette.
This is Are you familiar with Ender's Game at all?
Yeah.
So this always reminds me of the novel and the movie that they made, where they have to like shield the bomb from being blown up before it hits its target. That's what you have to do here with the carrier. Is you have the ship carrying the bomb for the UNSC, and there's that huge carrier, and you have to make sure the bomb makes it without being intercepted. Will it work? Will it work?
I can tell you by the end of the game, it doesn't.
There it is, the carrier.
We have visual. Target confirmed.
So now you have to essentially escort the bomb. And of course, the long night is letting out. Yeah, it is huge. It's letting out the. It's letting out its own fighters.
It's like fighting a Protoss fleet carrier.
Yeah. I kind of wish they made a StarCraft Galaxy, but I understand why they didn't.
Well, that's asking Blizzard to actually care, and that they haven't cared since like 2008.
Pretty much. I mean, there's Starfield, but it's a disappointment.
I heard by the time that we're dead, Star Citizen will be out.
I don't know what to think of that. I think Diablo 4 will actually show Diablo before Star Citizen or GTA 6 come out.
Isn't that wild? We're getting GTA 6 before Star Citizen comes out. That's nuts to me. And the technology for that game has to be so old by this point. Like, how are they still taking so long to make that game?
I have no idea. I mean, I know that Bethesda was using, obviously some modifications, but they were using the same engine for their games all the way up through Skyrim. If you believe that. But I mean, the main complaints about Starfield, and I've tried it somewhat, is that there's a lot of just empty planets in the game, and some people are a little disappointed with how space combat works in it.
Mm-hmm.
The crazy part, though, is this space battle right here was 2010. This thing was like 15 years ago, almost.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's always interesting to me because you would imagine that with how fast AAA titles usually get produced, especially when the mechanics are
right
fairly simple, you'd think that with technological advances they'd be able to get everything that they were designing out faster, but apparently not.
There's the glitch where you blew up and you fall down to the planet. Ouch. He wasn't careful about the turrets on the carrier. Back to the checkpoint for him. It's just crazy too with this game. I mean, you can see like how big this carrier has got to be. It's huge. You're flying along the surface of it.
Scans indicate a structural weakness surrounding a platform atop of the vessel.
Noble 6, set down immediately on that Corvette's topside landing pad.
Doing some Marine Corps action right there. Amphibious work. Well, I guess you. Yeah, I think we are dinosaurs by this point.
Pay no heed to the young whippersnapper. She doesn't understand the days of old when we had to wash our mouse's ball.
Even I have a hard time remembering that. I remember the motion sensor mouse, but you had to make sure the laser lens is clean. It reminds me of the joke where they put like, my brother did this to me when we were younger. Our family PC. He put duct tape on the bottom of the mouse so it wouldn't work.
Yeah, it was one of those good tricks because they still had the feet that helped elevate them.
Yeah.
Not that mice today don't have that.
I was like moving around, like, what's going on? I looked at it, I saw the gray. It's like, oh shit, he put duct tape on it. No, Lauren, it's called brothers. We do these kinds of pranks to each other all the time. I don't do it as much to my brother because we're grown up now and he's my kid's uncle, but I might still prank him again. I want to pay him back for some of the jokes he's did to me, and I'll find a way. I will always find a way.
Is this a needle rifle?
Yeah.
Oh boy.
It's a variant of the needler, yeah.
I knew so little about computers at the time that my brother and his buddy Jim, they decided they were going to upgrade my computer one day, and I thought, oh, cool, neat. I'll be able to play all these other games, and I won't have a slow PC. This is way back when I was like early playing World of Warcraft, and we they upgraded my computer from a Vista to XP because Vista was atrociously bad. And I sit down, and for like an hour I'm trying to sit there and figure out like what's wrong with my computer, because like everything's completely frozen. The mouse is frozen, everything. I didn't know at the time that you could screenshot the desktop and layer it above even the mouse on your computer. So it turns out I actually had like 15 different programs open, like 10 different games, the internet on like 5 different tabs, like all of this was open and active, and it was slowing down the computer on top of me not knowing that I could do all of this. So they came in and they had to like hold down the power button and manually reset the computer.
I've always been scared of having too many tabs open. I still am. I'm worried about, like, I don't get it, because even my mother, when she's doing it, she has all these tabs open. Like, Mom, why do you do this? Aren't you worried about crashing or losing track of what happens if the internet shuts down? Whatever. She's old. She's grandma now. She can take care of things.
Mm-hmm. And my lady is just the worst when it comes to that too. She'll constantly have like 5, 6, 7 tabs open at minimum. Otherwise, it's on average of like 20 or 30. I'm not even kidding. She just doesn't close tabs.
All right.
Copy that. 6. Get your fire team to the bridge. The Corvette's refueling run with the super carrier will happen.
Yeah, but even the old ones, Lord, even the old people like having many tabs. At least my mother does, anyways.
My pleasure. Hear that, Lieutenant? I'll be all by my lonesome back here. Make it quick, would you?
Oh, yay. The military is here. They're so helpful.
Head for the bridge. Find the nav controls. Got plenty of arms and ammo.
All right. I'm gonna go to.
I really do need to sit down and just try to game through the Halo series at some point, but man, I just don't got the time.
Yeah.
Like after this is done, I'm getting under my car because I have to fix the brakes again.
They gave out again. Like,
well, something happened. We had to move the car, and the brake light came back on. I have fixed my brakes and the brake lines specifically 3 or 4 times this year, because I've got this old beat up rust bucket.
It happens.
And it's got those brake lines are they're powder at this point, and surprisingly there's still enough that's holding, but I have to get underneath and figure it out, because I don't know if it was excess line that got banged from hitting like the bumpiness of like a
railroad track that jostled it or kinked it. I have no idea if the connection, if a connection came loose. I have no idea if it's the ABS block. I have no idea. I got to get under there and figure it out since the light came back on. I can't keep doing this. I might have to just replace every line from, and do it all from scratch, which sucks since it's like 2 degrees out here, not including wind chill.
Oh, yeah. It's at the coldest it's been in a while here in Pennsylvania right now as well.
Mm-hmm.
This is the Pillar of Autumn. We're away. The package is with us.
I don't know. I wish I had a garage. That helps a lot.
I wish I had a garage that wasn't filled up with crap and had another car already in it.
I know I know the next place is going to be a garage because Susan wants that, and I just feel like we're going to fill it with something. But here it is, the end of Halo Reach, and
this isn't the end of Halo Reach. This is the beginning of Aliens.
Yeah, that does look like the Sulaco, doesn't it?
Yeah.
I think we both know the answer to that.
But yeah, we're gonna watch the end of Reach when they all get burned. I know a lot of Star Wars fans might be mad, but I like this ending more than I like the ending of Rogue One. But I guess this is a game, and that's a movie.
Well, this was definitely at a time where games were starting to become so much more cinematic than they had prior.
Definitely. And that's it. Everything's burning. It's kind of sad to see him die. The prequel where everybody dies at the end. So this is it. This is where your character dies. So I was a little disappointed at this ending where your character died. I mean, I guess they are golden elites, but that's it.
Yeah, funny how so many of those shots obviously just aren't connecting.
Yeah.
It didn't take long for Reach to fall. Our enemy was ruthless, efficient, but they weren't nearly fast enough. For you had already passed the torch, and because of you, we found Halo, unlocked its secrets, shattered our enemy's resolve. Our victory, your victory, was so close. I wish you could have lived to see it. But you belong to Reach. Your body, your armor, all burned and turned to glass. Everything. Except your courage.
Oh,
You gave to us.
Halsey, I really don't like you.
Yeah, thanks for the message. Fuck you.
And to think Cortana's based off of her, too. Oh. All right. So coming up next, Vampire Hunter D Bloodlust. And Albelio, you'll be taking over for the game review episode coming after that on January 30th.
Yeah. Yep,
It looks
talking
interesting.
Yep, talking StarCraft 2 and Tales of Symphonia, Dawn of a New World.
I think there was a Tales of Symphonia for phones, right? Maybe.
Maybe. I don't know.
I think there was something else. I'll take a look because I'm curious.
There's so many Tales games. It wouldn't surprise me if there are. There were 2 Doom games on phone. So
Doom. Oh yeah.
Yeah, the Doom RPG.
All right. Yeah. I actually played that for a bit, and then when I tried to play it again, it was no longer sold.
Mm-hmm. I'm sure people could find it online.
But you have to emulate the phone somehow if it's that obsolete.
Oh yeah, that's what I mean.
Yeah, phones are a real pain. But otherwise, I hope everyone has a nice time. We'll be joining you for Vampire Hunter D Bloodlust Part 2. It should be great. As I like to say, be safe out there, and we will be signing off.
Have a good night, everybody.
So as this volume draws to a close, I want to welcome you and thank you for stopping by to give a little visit to the podcast of Whatever Happened to the Game. And hopefully you enjoyed and had a nice time visiting here this evening on Thursday night. And I hope you have a nice time. In the meantime, there are links to both myself, my own channel, and to Albelio's channel, who is a guest on these episodes of the series. And I want to wish you a wonderful evening, and you can stop by the channel and related links in the description. Get some Vampires Rule merchandise, or you can just check out some jokes I have every now and then on Instagram. It should be pretty fun. In the meantime, have a wonderful evening, and until we meet again, farewell.